We had another young missionary couple who emailed me the night before I was to commission them. They were inviting their unbelieving family to come to the commissioning. We always put our young missionaries, before we send them out, put them in front of the church, pray for them. And parents get really mad at me. I had a parent one time say, if my son doesn't come back, I will kill you. So their parents were out there, and they said, would you say something to help them understand that it's okay for us to take their grandchildren to this hard place? They were going to Somalia, in fact, Darfur. So here's what I said, if I can remember. This just came to my mind. I presented them. I didn't know who their parents were out there. But I said, Jesus never said it'll be hard for a missionary kid to get into the kingdom of heaven. Jesus never said it's hard for a person in Darfur to get into the kingdom of heaven. Jesus just said it's hard for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven. And so the most dangerous place to raise a kid is America. Jesus calls us to some absolutely crazy, radical ways of life. They're not the same for everybody. And usually when I get to this point in a message along this line, I will get letters of criticism. I got one last week after I preached at Southern Seminary, to the effect that, so what do you want us to do, live in a cardboard box? Jesus said when he watched a widow put her last 2 coins in the temple offering, he watched her do this, and he commended her and said she gave more than all the wealthy because out of her poverty she put in all the living that she had. Now, if I preached that and walked away, I would get letters. So what are you going to expect her to pay her rent with? Now, you got to understand, Jesus is not into giving you lists and prescriptions. He's into shocking the hell out of you. Literally. There's way too much hellish love for money in everybody. So Jesus has to shock his disciples and say, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. But to disabuse you of any notion that I or Jesus want you all lockstep in the same way, just remember, when the rich young man came and said, what must I do? The bottom line was, give away everything you've got. To the poor, follow me. When Zacchaeus came down out of the tree and Jesus shows up in his house, he gave away 50% of everything that he had. And Jesus said, salvation has come to this house today. I'm not here to give percentages. That's you and God. I'm here to plead with you to be freed from the American dream and to live the kind of life in the cause of love on the Calvary Road with Jesus, cross on your back, self-denying, such that so full of joy, you will make the world stand up and notice. That's all I want. Whether it's in a suburb that's wealthy, where you have to align yourself with many painful people who don't know what to do with their kids and are brokenhearted, or whether you're going to go to the city where you will live in a cardboard box to identify with the street people of Calcutta. I can't tell you that, but God can.